When I was in ninth grade, I went to school in Hong Kong. For our annual trip, we went over to Thailand, to some rural little campground with dorms. Every year, my school went to this particular camp because it was conveniently located for the activities that the school annually planned. However, those students in higher grades always said that the dorm 4D was haunted. As luck would have it, I was assigned to dorm 4D with 7 other classmates. When we arrived on the first day, shit was pretty fine. We did some hiking, rock climbing, your standard outdoor camp bullshit. During our free time period, I was pretty worn out. I'm not much of a physically active person, so I decided to head back to my dorm and finish off my Harry Potter books, when suddenly in the corner of my eye, I could swear that I saw someone peering through the window of the door. As soon as I glanced up, however, the figure vanished. However, the shrubs just outside the window were still slightly rustling, almost like who or what ever it was had just taken off. I disregarded it as someone who was just being overly curious, so I continued reading my books. After us kids had dinner, we all headed back to our dorms and started fooling around. We were sitting in the common area playing cards. It was rather late, I'd say around 11. 0 p.m. by now, so it was past curfew time. Teachers were going round to check that people were in their dorms. And it was lights out at 12:00, as we were playing cards. All of us thought we could hear someone faintly humming, a high-pitched voice, like a kid's voice, coming from the bathroom. If you'd ever tried talking aloud in the bathroom, you'll know that your voice sort of echoes. Well, the humming voice had that kind of effect, so we thought it was coming from the bathroom. I went to check the bathroom, but there was nothing there. As soon as I came within, say 15 feet of the door, the voice would stop. Freaky, I thought, but as we were all in a big group of 8, we weren't that worried. So, after lights out, we were all pretty much burnt out. We all decided to turn in. This is when the shit really started to go down. It was going on to about 12:45 when I heard a startled yell coming from the other bedroom. I rushed out my door with Andrew, my bunkmate, and we bumped into all the other guys in the dorm. They were all peeping from out their rooms at the same time. The guys in room 2 were looking really panicked. We asked them what was wrong, and Steve, one of the dudes, said that he saw a figure in a long red gown walk briskly past the open doorway, as he was lying there in the dark trying to go to sleep. Obviously, we found no such figure in the room. Now, Steve was a big, athletic guy. Around 6'2" at the time of the incident. He's always the hard ass when it comes to sports, and really outgoing. It was pretty freaky for him to be the one getting scared like that, so we were all pretty unsettled. Coming around 2:00, we all were suddenly startled again that we all ran out and met in the common area. It seems like there was some maniacal laughter coming from the corridor outside, and there was a clanging like there was someone holding something metallic and banging it against the wall. The noise seemed to come closer to our door, louder and louder, until it suddenly stopped. By this time, we were ready to bail, pretty fucking scared. We all decided to pull up all our bed sheets, clear the living area, and camp as a whole group in the middle of the door. It wasn't until 4 that some weird shit went down again. We were all pretty much passed out by this point, but we were all awoken by a strange thumping sound that seemed to come from the roof. It was almost as if someone was walking on the roof, because the thumps went from above my room to above the second room and down to the third and then the fourth rooms. We decided to head outside to see if we could see anything on the roof. Grabbing our flashlights and phones, we went out as a bunch. First, we checked the roof. Nothing! We went around to check if there was anything that could lead up to the roof, that someone could climb. We found a large drain pipe that was running alongside the window where I thought I saw the figure. However, it didn't really have enough foothold for anyone to climb. I did notice something strange, though. The window where I thought I saw the figure was really, really dirty. However, there was a strange set of 5 lines. Before leaving, Steve and I went to talk to the caretaker of the campground and asked him about the peculiar events. What he told us freaked us out big time. He said that a little girl had been playing around and she saw the big drain pipe leading up to the roof. She climbed the drain pipe and got up on the roof. The roof, however, was slanted and wet from the rain and humidity. She slipped, fell, and broke her neck, landing right outside the window where I thought I saw the figure. Her mother, one of the maintenance staff at the time, was so distressed that she went near insane, locking herself in the bathroom and humming incoherently for a whole day. Then, around 3 the same night, she ran, laughing hysterically through the corridor, climbed the roof up the same pipe, and jumped, killing herself in the process. That's the first and hopefully last time I go to Thailand. A few weeks ago, I went on a school trip to visit a couple of museums in the capital, so we had to spend a few nights at a hotel. It was bound to be just another boring experience, but that time it was not the case at all. On the first night, when we got back to the hotel, I met Nicole, a girl from another school that was visiting the same places as us. Her room was right next to mine, so she introduced me to some of her friends, and we got along pretty well. After a couple of hours, I went back to my room and got ready for bed. It was almost midnight, and as I was brushing my teeth, I could hear the girls laughing, so I put my ear against the wall and tried to listen, using the glass resting on the sink. I couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but it sounded like Nicole, and her friends were murmuring and giggling. I assumed it was just some good old-fashioned gossip and went to sleep. The following day, when I met up with Nicole and the crew, I asked her about the previous night. She said they were playing the Bloody Mary Truth or Dare game. It's like playing Truth or Dare game. It's like playing Truth or Dare by spinning a bottle, but with a twist, she said. Basically, if you chose truth, you'd have to share a personal secret about yourself. Otherwise, you would be dared to say Bloody Mary 3 times while staring at yourself in the mirror with the lights off, only having a dim flashlight pointed at your face. It is said that if you complete those steps, Bloody Mary will come. Take your soul or some nonsense along those lines. Another important rule was to record yourself while you completed said ritual. I laughed about it and asked if I could join in, and she naturally invited me to come back to her room around midnight and play with them. After yet another exhausting museum tour, it was finally time for the game. Once we were all back at the hotel, I changed clothes as fast as I could and rushed to Nicole's room, eager to have some fun after such a boring day. After a few quick turns and witnessing Nicole scaring some of the other girls, it was my turn to take the flashlight to the bathroom. I said the name twice without any hesitation. However, when I was about to say it for the 3rd time, a cold chill went down my spine, and I almost turned on the lights. Then I heard Nicole calling me a chicken, so I just shouted Bloody Mary at the top of my lungs. I could feel myself clenching my teeth as soon as I uttered the words, as if I was getting ready for Bloody Mary to come, or most likely just Nicole trying to scare me. To nobody's surprise, nothing happened, and we carried on with the game for a couple of more rounds before going to sleep. 3 weeks have passed since that night, and I have gathered some friends at my house to teach them the game. Some of them are real scaredy cats, but they're too proud to admit it, especially the guys. I think we'll hear a few screams tonight. I can't wait. We're about to start the game, and I offer to go first. I wonder if somebody will try to scare me, and quite frankly, I kind of want them to.
The rush of adrenaline and the silly look on one's face when they get scared of their own reflection is quite something.
As I enter the bathroom with the lights off, I proceed to say the name 3 times. After a few seconds, I hear my friends complaining that they didn't hear me, so I just say it again 3 more times. After a brief moment of silence, I notice a slender figure behind the shower curtains. It looks a bit like my little sister. She's rather short for her age and has long, wavy hair. I bet she's trying to scare me. The other kids waited for about 5 minutes before checking in on their friend. They turned on the lights and she wasn't there, but the window was wide open, so they all laughed and thought she ran outside to scare them by knocking on the door. Her sister picked up the phone and replayed the recording. After the 6th Bloody Mary, a dark silhouette of a girl appeared to come out from behind the curtains. As she got closer to the mirror, dark red streaks could be seen on her face, almost like she had been crying blood. A couple of seconds later, the phone just turned itself off, and so did the lights. It was September 20th, 2012, and our school was going on a trip. We were going to an amusement park called Wallaby. My best buddy Jake and I were super excited because we really loved the roller coaster Goliath. I woke up at 6 a.m. and I already felt the excitement in my stomach. The bus would leave at 8 a.m., so I quickly made myself a sandwich and ate it as quickly as I could. I took a shower and got dressed. I left for school, and Jake and I met at the bridge along the way. I waved at him, but he didn't wave back. I walked up to him, and when I came close, I saw he looked like shit. "What's wrong, mate?" I asked him. He said that he hadn't gotten much sleep because he had had a horrible nightmare. I knew what he meant, because Jake had strange nightmares for over a year now. It's always the same. A man with scars all over his face stares at him from a distance with a freezing look. It just stands there. I figured it was pretty scary if a person stares at you the whole time you're sleeping. But this was different, he said. He slowly walks in my direction, and when I try to walk away, I can't move. It's like I'm frozen or something. I tried to cheer him up, and he said, fuck it. Let's go to Wallaby. We sat in the bus for half an hour, and we were finally there. When we entered the park, we could hear the screams from the roller coasters. I was really excited, but I was worried about Jake. I knew he loved Wallaby, but he seemed so quiet. He just walked very slowly without saying a word. "Let's go to the Goliath," I said with a big smile on my face, hoping that Jake would smile too. He didn't, though. He just said, "Sure, but I got to take a piss first." I should have stopped him. I waited for a while and figured he was taking a dump or something. I sent him a text saying, "I'm going for the first ride. See you there soon." He didn't reply, so I just went to the Goliath. The waiting line wasn't very long, so I was already happy and excited. After about 10 minutes, it was my turn. I checked my phone. And I saw that Jake had replied, "You will see me soon enough." I got aboard and sat alone in a cart. The train went up, and just before the drop, I felt a chill going through my spine. And we dropped. I felt the adrenaline through my blood. And I screamed at the top of my lungs. But not because of the excitement. I saw someone tied down on the rails. I recognized the coat and shoes. It was Jake. I will never forget the moment the train hit him. Blood all over the people in the train. Limbs flying everywhere. I cried and threw up. The police came. I wanted to see my friend, but he was gone. Nothing left of him. I walked towards the bus and got in. I sat there crying, and the bus driver looked over his shoulder. A man with scars all over his face, with ice-cold eyes. He grinned and said, "Was it soon enough?" For joining us on this spine-tingling journey into the world of horror. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you're always the first to know when we release a new, terrifying story. Until next time,